Hello, everybody. I'm a little early. I was supposed to go on at 4, but I have something that came up last minute, and I have to go and do a tarot reading for a client, so I had to come on here a little bit early. But I'll give it a minute or two. I hope you're all having a good Monday. I'm having the day from hell with my hair. All right. Just going to wait another minute or two. And I do apologize for not being on here. Usually I get on here every at least 4 to 5 days. It's been over 10, and it's my apologies. I do a side hustle called merchandising, and for the last week or two, I've been setting up displays for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm either hired out through Guinness beer or Jameson whiskey. And so I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks. I've been going from grocery store to grocery store, setting up displays. It's a good side hustle, makes me some quick money. So that is one of the reasons I have not been on here as much. I've been kind of busting my ass uh, working. All right, well, let's get into it. It is a quiet day here, and it is my fault. I did start a little early, but it is what it is. But we have this lovely full moon in Virgo that's going to happen on Tuesday, March 7th, tomorrow. It's taking place at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. So in the wee hours of the morning for us, let's see, 6:40 Eastern for Central, and let's see, 5:40 a.m. for Pacific Time. This is also called the worm moon or sap moon because the worms, if you notice, well, I'm noticing it here. I don't know about in California where they don't have seasons, but the worms begin to merge from the ground after their long winter's nap or hibernation. Now, I'm not noticing that here quite as much as a lot more birds are out. There's a lot more chirping in the morning, as there really wasn't much of that, um, as much of that in January per se. And we just had a big snowstorm that dumped a whole bunch of snow. So it definitely still feels like winter outside. I'm still in my turtlenecks. But generally, this is when the worms begin to merge from the ground from their long winter's nap or hibernation. Now, I will officially know that spring is here when I start seeing the fire ants come up out of the ground. And that should happen any day now. So uh, just depends. But this full moon is all about our hopes and our dreams as the equinox season is once again here. And it begins to, like I said, things are coming alive, bursting with life and fertility again. Now, this full moon energy will be all about mindfulness. One thing about Virgo full moons, Virgo new moons too, but Virgo full moons, mindfulness towards better health, fitness, diet, purity, perfection, organization, holistic medicines, textiles, connecting with nature, and green magic. Virgo has to be the pillar of perfection, purity, and cleanliness. And they usually have incredibly good organizational skills. And they're a pillar of good health. Now, this energy also tends to make us more critical of others. And just a little reminder, nobody's perfect. Not you, not me. None of us are perfect. So try not to be too critical. I'm going to put my glasses on where I can see better. Virgo is the green thumb of the zodiac, and this moon is all about planting and growing. And it's a time of year when we begin to prep our gardens for the after the long winter and begin to plant for the season ahead. Now, I'm actually like today, I prepping the garden, preparing it, but we have a lot of seeds germinating right now. So there's that. And usually we're in my neck of the woods, the freeze season ends about the end of April. So I don't really start planting till then, but I do start germinating these next 6 weeks. Now, the main objective to this Virgo full moon energy is to clean out the clutter, both physically and spiritually. Virgo is there to improve our lifestyles for the better. Get all of those health commitments in place, resolve bad habits, and get those checkups. This is the perfect time to have a yard sale, sell used stuff online like a Poshmark or an Etsy, eBay, things like that. All earth signs and Pisces will feel this energy strongly, but Virgo, sun, moon, rising, dragon's head, and tail in Virgo are the ones that are going to feel this energy the most. So all of my earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, you're going to feel this strongly. And this energy does tend to make many of us somewhat neurotic, perfectionists, who can tend to overthink things and focus on the tree instead of the entire forest. And before I go on, I'm going to raise my hand and say I'm fully guilty of this. Well, writing this newsletter that I have posted, I was feeling this energy like 5-6 days ago coming. Okay. And even though I am Capricorn, I have a rising in Virgo. I have a dragon's tail in Virgo. So I will say this, writing this I was becoming neurotic, a neurotic perfectionist. And I finally said, okay, stop it. You know where the stars are. You know what's going on. Grammarly is saying it's fine. Stop. So I even had to stop myself going, oh my God, Linda. So just keep that in mind when we go into the next few weeks, because Virgo full moon energy does make us incredibly critical, not just of ourselves, but of other people. So like I said, we tend to overthink things, focus on the tree instead of focusing on the entire forest. And we're extremely critical of ourselves and others. I already said that. Now, please, with this energy, you must give yourself a big pat on the back for a job well done. And do not be so hard on yourself. All lessons learned are always a learning experience for all of us, and it's always needed. Now, spending should be kept to a minimum these next few weeks. And even economists are saying not to spend for the next 18 months due to the rise in everything that will continue. This is going to continue. These next few weeks are a prep period, so to speak, the prep of the home, the garden, and to release the old. Make a list of the materials you're going to need. And when the moon is wanting, you're going to want to purchase these. You need to buy these when the moon is wanting in a more positive state, but plan ahead. Plan what you need for your garden. This full moon is all about organizing your workspace, both professionally, personally, and spiritually. It's about making plans for later on, planting something and watching it grow. Hey, Kapui, how are you? Been cleaning drawers. And, oh my God, me too. Today I worked like I said, I don't know if you caught me in the beginning. I said, I'm prepping the garden. Of course, the storm knocked all of my garden beds. How do I explain this? Because I live in an area where the summers can be very harsh. Even though I'm 5,000 feet in elevation, sometimes, like last summer, some of my tomato leaves were like burned from the scorching sun. So I've created these 2 flower beds, and I've put like a little shading over them. And that's what I've been doing because the storm we just had knocked them both down. So we had to like rebuild them. That's what I was doing quite a bit this morning. Um, I was cleaning a little bit yesterday, but I have this like to-do list. I make a little dry erase board for the month, and I make a point to get these things done for the month. I don't do it weekly because that's a little overwhelming, but I do it monthly. And so month of March was to clean up. I have a little area I've got to go and take stuff to the dump, and I'm just trying to get ready for the springtime. So yes, I've been cleaning too, but in a different way. I haven't been cleaning inside the house, but I am going to do that. In fact, I sell on Etsy, not Etsy. I sell on Poshmark, and someone had asked me. I just made a sale of a real pretty Levi's jacket that had a painting of a coyote. Piece lot of this or that, and so I was saying my connection's unstable. Hold on, better. It's right square in your head and heart. That's awesome. Yes, we all get in the cleaning spirit a little bit. My state of mind has been incredibly good these last couple of weeks. And so for me, it's just about keep going and keep going and keep going. I want to talk to my magical folk because I have a big thing printed out here. So if you want to go and read it and reflect back, go to theastrologywitch.com and you could see the full write up here. But um, one thing, Virgo full moons. Kapui here is cleaning. I'm cleaning my garden. It's about cleaning and spring cleaning in some ways and cleaning out the cobwebs. But whether you are a practitioner who's working for themselves or you are a practitioner who's working for others, like myself, I do spells for other people. This Virgo full moon should always start with a good smoke cleansing of some sort, whether that's a smoke cleansing of um, a black sage or a cedar or a rosemary. It's needed, and not just within the home, but sage your computer area, your bedrooms, your car, your business, your magical space, especially your magical space. Now, all earthy full moon in Virgo it is the green witch energy. This is an earthy full moon. So green witch energy. Um, this is a healer with herbs, makes tinctures, holistic medicines, and the natural born gardener. A lot of people with Virgo placements have a strong green thumb and have the gift of gardening. Now, this full moon is perfect for any sort of spell work for employment, to manifest a better job, because after all, Virgo does rule the sixth house. The sixth house is the house of health and service to the world or employment, and all. It's also about groups and friendship and neighbors and things like that. But this is a perfect time to do any kind of spell work to manifest a better job, learning holistic arts, um, pursuits in writing, or for better health and fitness. This is all blessed under these stars. Now, especially with the spring equinox right around the corner on Monday, March 20th, this is a perfect time. These next 2 weeks are about declutter, regrouping, reevaluate, planning. And what's interesting is March 20th, it is the turn of the season. The wheel of the year turns once again. But this equinox falls in a dark moon phase. So when I talk about the equinoxes, both spring and fall, these are a time when the next few days, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, The nights and the days are at even balance and even strength. And we as humans need to adapt to that energy as well and bring more balance and harmony into our own homes, into our own space, into our own personal lives and our own personal energy. And it is the perfect time to create an energy that releases the negative and brings balance and harmony back. So the night before the new moon, it is a dark moon phase, and it is Ostara for us pagans. It's the pagan Easter, but it is also on a dark moon phase. So even though it is a wheel of the year turn, we're turning the wheel, that is the perfect night to banish, get rid of what no longer serves your greater good. Okay. I'm doing this because this is like me getting rid of things. Get rid of the negative, even from friends and relatives that make comments. You need to get rid of the negative. I'm creating a bubble around myself for my greater good and my greater purpose. And just because someone else is in a bad mood does not mean it has to bring you down. Boundaries, creating those boundaries. Balance and harmony is going to be the key to better health, both mentally and physically, as it creates harmony. And it does this by setting those intentions in place to grow and flourish for the warmer seasons ahead. Okay, hold on. I got to read this. Wanting knives was a great suggestion. Okay, I am. My heart buys. Is that what I'm feeling? Holy cow, it all coming in. Dark moon, good for planting. Dark moon, if you go to this book, I love this book. Okay, now I didn't buy any for anybody this year because last year I got stuck with like 5 extra. So next year in the 2024, if you do want them, let me know and I'll put the order in. I'm only going to order if people request it. But dark moon, normally you don't plant in a dark plant, not plan, plant in a dark moon normally, but there's always exceptions to the rule, especially in the stars. And so for the 20th, even though it is a dark moon phase, the moon is in Pisces the night before. The new moon is on the 21st, and it's going to go into Aries. And it is going to go into Aries at 1:23 p.m. So it'll go into Aries that day, the day of the new moon. But on Monday, the 20th, the moon is in Pisces, and Pisces is a watery sign, so it's a little more fertile. So yes, go right ahead. Like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule, and this is one of them. You can go into this part of the book and you'll see the energies. This is my Bible. I swear by this book. Anyway, yes, it is a perfect time for planting on that day. Even though it's a dark moon phase, it's in Pisces and it's fertile. The only thing you want to be careful for anytime we're going into a dark moon phase and it's in Pisces, a lot of us can get some very deep downloads. It can almost be emotional, but we also can have great insight into things, and that green thumb comes to the surface. So there you go. Your seeds are already sprouting. We're germinating ours right now, and it's kind of funny. A couple of days before we had that big storm, actually not a couple of days, the day before we had that big storm, I had a big bag of pumpkin seeds, and I have a little like ditch out here, and it always in the summertime grows these really beautiful exotic flowers. So I dumped all the pumpkin seeds in there. Well, not only did I feed the ravens and the squirrels that day, but I'm hoping some of them will sink down after it snowed, and maybe by fall there'll be some pumpkins growing in the ditch instead of just weeds. And then maybe some of the kids in the neighborhood can go and harvest those. I didn't grow them for myself, but I thought about, Halloween's coming. Not everyone has money to go buy pumpkins. It'd be kind of cool if I could grow a whole bunch of pumpkins, and then the kids in the neighborhood could come and harvest them. I don't mind sharing. So fingers crossed that happens. But okay, let's see. Where was I? So spell work on March 20th should involve some sort of banishing, either banishing of old habits, banishing of people, and or even banishing of any kind of negative thoughts, things like that, and prepping for the planting of herbs, flowers, trees, veggies, and fruit gardens. This is also the perfect time to plant your magical garden. Anything you use for magic, planting that garden is perfect as well. Get out there, get out your green thumb and make it grow, because the very next day on March 21st, we have a new moon in Aries. And that is all about action. Whatever you've been planning, set it in place now. Those next 2 weeks are blessed. All right, let me just go back in and see. Good. So these next few weeks, and I am actually going to post, before I go on, I usually a week ahead, my Patreons get the new and full moon forecast tarot card. And Patreon's already gotten that, but I'm starting to, because I go into classes with Patreon to teach me how to build my Patreon page a little better. And they're stating that something you've already given to your Patreons, you can put on YouTube and things like that. So my full moon forecast, my tarot reading, my 3-card spread, I will post that as soon as I get off of here. But these next few weeks, we are operating more critical level than usual. And we all must try not to be too critical. I've said this before, of ourselves or others. I repeat things within my forecast. Do you want to know why? Because human beings, the general attention span of a human being is 5 seconds. You need to repeat something at least 7 or 8 times before it kind of sinks into not necessarily the subconscious mind, but the mental clarity. So I repeat these things over and over again so that they stick in your head. So yes, we must try not to be too critical of ourselves or others. This week's full moon energy will be all about our mental process, our working life, our health, our employment, beginnings, endings. The mental process will be tested and will make us feel like we're feeding into some hidden fears. And that does happen, especially when we sit and watch news all day long. The best way to avoid this is to turn off all negative rhetoric that you're hearing and point the focus towards health, cleanup, and detoxing. One of the most perfect times to detox the body is during a Virgo full moon. So my Patreons, my crone Patreons, the ones that are in the crone, I am going to do a health and healing spell, but I probably won't get to it tonight. It'll probably be sometime tomorrow. Okay. And it's something you can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be done in a Virgo full moon, but it does pack a punch. It's a great little spell, and I'll share that with you guys. This is also a time, like I said, it's about cleanup and detoxing. So juice cleanses are perfect right now. Diet programs, better food, joining health clubs, and making those better life choices are all required these next 2 weeks. This is also a great time to kick any kind of a bad habit like smoking or drinking or any kind of poor eating or whatever it is, any kind of bad habit. Virgo gives you the resolve. Virgo full moons give you the resolve and discipline to hold your ground. This is also a time where you're not going to want to sign any contracts now. You're going to want to wait for those better stars on March 21st to progress forward with any kind of plans. Hey, Kathy, how are you? How do I see new job opportunities brewing this full moon? Well, generally, Virgo rules the sixth house. So Virgo is the ruler of employment and better health. But with it being in its wanting phase, these next 2 weeks, I would say on March 21st, it is an absolute green light to apply for a new job. These next 2 weeks are to, you know, update the resume, clean out the cobwebs, do cleanup around the home, do cleanup on your computer, whatever's needed. I wouldn't start sending out those resumes until that new moon. Once that new moon hits, it is a green light for all of us. All of us. But these next 2 weeks are about planning, contemplating, doing cleanup, both on ourselves, our work life, and our own health. So I personally think these next 2 weeks, there's beginnings and endings for many people coming in this phase. Some people get a new job, some people lose a job, some people get promoted, some people get demoted. It just depends on the individual and their own stars. But like I said, new job opportunities, I would wait till the new moon, which is March 21st, and then it's a green light. You're so very welcome, Kathy. My pleasure. Now, there's going to be high drama scenarios these next couple of weeks, and someone famous possibly will leave this world these next few weeks. I will share my tarot with you guys right after I get off of here. I will put that up for the public, but in my tarot for this full moon, I did mention former President Jimmy Carter has been sent to hospice. Well, we all know that this is an end of life decision, and may his transition be very peaceful. But I'm feeling it's that. I could be wrong. It could be something else. But a radical developments concerning health, science, discovery, space, aeronautics, insane weather, electrical issues, earthquakes, explosions, eruptions, shocking events, and news of the strange and weird will also make headlines these next 2 weeks. Now, my Patreons, both the mother and the maiden, or the mother and the crone tier, both have these dates. They've had them for several months. They know the green lights, they know the red lights, they know danger, and they know when to proceed forward. So I can't give you those dates, but for $5 a month, you can join my Patreon and you can get those dates. So any radical developments, like I said, concerning any kind of health and whatnot, science, discovery. The only other thing I'm going to say here is if you can avoid it, you're going to want to stay away from any type of air travel during that Uranic phase. I'm only going to give you one date. That's the 18th. I can't give you any more dates than that. If you join Patreon, you can get all of those dates. All right, and I am coming to the end here. So now I'm not trying to leave you as Debbie Downer, and I am going to pull an oracle card before we leave. But what was it? The other day I was on here, 10 days ago, I was talking about, health and crummy food and whatnot. And what's interesting is I lost the list I had a list of stuff I had written down, but I'm able to remember like one or two of them. So I used to buy Burt's Bees, that product Burt's Bees. You think, oh, Burt's Bees, it's all natural, it's all healthy. It's a cosmetic company. They make like makeup removers, makeup wipes, lip gloss, things like that. Burt's Bees, not as organic and as healthy as we all thought. Okay. Burt's Bees is owned by the Clorox company now. Okay. Clorox. So I will not be buying any more Burt's Bees. Now, it's kind of funny because my daughter used to eat Annie's mac and cheese, and it was about 6 months ago. She said to me, I don't know what's going on with Annie's. It tastes funny. The only mac and cheese I like anymore is Trader Joe's. What do you mean Annie's tastes funny? She goes, I don't know if they changed the recipe, but there's something strange going on with Annie's. And I'm like, that's strange. At first I thought they were bought out by Kraft, but they weren't. One just as bad. So Annie's organic products are no longer organic, and they've been bought out by General Mills. So my kid knew, because my kid has been eating organic since she was little, and as soon as they changed the recipe, she's like, something's strange here. So those are the only two I can think of off the bat that I remembered. I wrote a list of a bunch of companies that have gotten over other companies and have changed the recipes. So if there's certain foods that are organic and taste funny now, you're going to want to really dive deep and see what's going on, because it just might be that they got bought by a major company. Just some food for thought, no pun intended, about what we're buying in our markets and whatnot. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for the universe, world at large. Kapui, Kathy, do you guys want me to pull one for you too? Just say yes, and I will before we close out for the afternoon. All right, Spirit, full moon tomorrow. What messages do you have for the universe? All right. Hold on, I gotta move my light. Okay, I'll pull one. You're next. All right, so for the world at large, we pulled the card Strategy, which is a 21. 2 and a 1 is a 3. It's about planning, making a plan, creating a strategy. I'll read it from the book, but oh, I almost dropped it. You're very welcome. Like it says, making a plan. When you draw this card shows a pen, a journal, compass, and key. When you receive this card upright, it indicates that it is a time of optimum time of setting up a very specific strategy for achieving your goals. Write about the direction you want to go in, consider the potential, change the course that may be needed, be aware of the particulars regarding your goals, and have some conscious plans in mind. So perfect. This is perfect because this is what Virgo is all about. It's about strategy, making a plan, and then acting on those plans on the 21st of March when the moon is new in Aries. Perfect card for the world at large. Make those plans, have a strategy, set them in place come the next full or the next new moon. Okay, Kapui. You're next, my dear. So, Spirit, what messages do you have for Kapui for these next 2 weeks and this full moon energy? All right, here we go. All right, so you drew the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, number 39, which 9 and a 3 is a 12. So once again, the card before was a universal card for the world, and it was a 21. Now a 9 and a 3 makes a 12, which is a metaphysical number, 2 and a 3. But it was in reverse. So upright, it's the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, but it is in reverse. This deck, though, does not show, all the reverses are actually positive in nature, and that's actually probably why I pull these cards, because of it. So generally, this card is about self-expression and speaking your truth, but when it's in reverse, like it is, this card reversed often indicates significant blocks to the throat center. Throat center. Something in your history may have caused you to shut down, but it's important now to break through that unhealthy pattern, or you may currently be in a situation where the free sharing of your ideas and opinions or even feelings is thwarted in some ways. In addition to the fear and self-expression, this card reversed could indicate maybe a physical throat problem, like maybe you've had some sore throats these past few weeks. Sometimes when I draw this card for a client, like I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I got this card and she was just getting over laryngitis. So there's that. Okay. And that could be, it is that time of year when we get sore throats and scratchy throats and things like that. It's usually something very minor like that. Now, to clear the throat chakra, call upon Archangel Gabriel and meditate on his power blasting through any blocks. See your throat center spinning in a beautiful blue light. Muster up the courage to speak your truth to yourself and to others. Did you guys hear that? There's a big thud in my kitchen. Oh, God. Wonder what's going on in there. It's time to let go of any old fears and confirmation, any old fears of confirmation, and stand up for yourself from now on. Yes, you need to find your voice. The Aries full new moon coming will make you find that voice. Now, Kapui, here is the affirmation. You don't have to use this, but if you want to light a candle sometime during these next 2 weeks and say this affirmation, perfect. My throat, I can't talk. God help me. My throat chakra is open to its perfect healthy state, spinning with the beautiful energy of freedom and self-empowerment. I am free to express myself in every way. So mote it be. Perfect affirmation. And Kapui, I do know that Libras in general have a big issue with this. So it's not, not something, a lot of Libras get this card. So express yourself. Express yourself. All of you out there, a very blessed. Uh-oh, I'm going to scare a couple of folk. That's okay. That's okay. Scare them. My mother does that too. My mother's Libra. And so my mother, when she steps out of her comfort zone, as I call it, and she lets her voice be heard, the whole household is like a poker face. We just shut down. So this, especially Libra, this is your time. Speak it. Speak it. From the throat chakra to the lips to the tongue, express yourself. Hit me square, Libra on it. I'm sorry. Shoot. Anyway, you guys, it is going to be a full moon tomorrow. So tomorrow evening,